A new agreement will ensure deaf and hard of hearing patients get access to interpreters at Sunrise Hospital and all 190 affiliated facilities. The action comes after a deaf father was denied an American Sign Language interpreter while visiting the ER with his 8-year-old daughter. He was forced to use an unreliable method to communicate, leaving him confused about his daughter's condition. Medication and discharge instructions. Under the settlement, the hospital will provide qualified interpreters, train staff on ADA rules, update policies, and pay $30,000 to the family plus civil penalties.